Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to another edition of the Savvy Stewards. I am Lachey Campbell, your hostess with the mostest. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe um, to this channel. So, like this video, share with someone else, and subscribe to the channel for more financial content. Today, I put on the black blazer, so you know it's serious business today. I wanted to talk about how to properly handle an audit. And again, it's a very serious topic. There will be people that this may happen to. So I wanted you all to feel prepared, to be ready, just in case you're ever audited. I just recently went through another successful audit, another one notched under my belt. This one was for over $13,000. Okay. So I already know what you're probably thinking. What would I do? How would I even react if I got a letter in the mail from the IRS saying that I owed them over $13,000? So I'm here to discuss with you today how to best prepare yourself for an audit so you don't have to feel the fear and the stress that comes with any IRS correspondence, okay? So the first thing, just already hitting those emotional just feelings, the first thing I want you to do if you receive a letter from the IRS indicating that you have been audited, the first thing I want you to do is stay calm, okay? I know it seems like a very simple practice, but seriously, there's not any there's not ever a reason that you need to increase your blood pressure, that you need to panic, that you need to fear. You need to stay completely calm, okay? And again, I know this is probably the hardest part for any of my clients who have ever went through an audit. First thing to do, just stay calm, okay? Second thing I want you to do, I want you to read the letter thoroughly. Don't just read the parts in bold. Don't just read the amount that may be due. Thoroughly read the letter to see what they're asking of you. Okay. Remember, too, an audit is just a basically a recheck. They want to check that you have all of the documents that you have that you've indicated on your return. If you've received any documents that you did not get a chance to file, they're also letting you know that as well. Okay. But that does not mean that everything they're saying will come to pass. Just because you they say that you owe $13,000, it may not mean that you have to pay $13,000. So that's why you want to read it. You also want to read it to know what is the discrepancy, if there is any discrepancy between what your initial tax return said and what they are saying. So you want to know. My first audit, there was an issue with their Schedule C. The Schedule C being the business profit or loss from a business that's a disregarded entity, could be a LLC, but also a disregarded entity on your Form 1040. So if you have a Schedule C, let me let you know that already just up front, you're usually more susceptible to audits so that the IRS can verify your income and your expenses. Okay. So though if you have a Schedule C, an audit can truly happen at any time. So again, that's why we go back to number one, just stay calm, okay? So the letter could also indicate, again, like I mentioned, maybe a piece of income or a document that you have maybe have missed filing. So in this recent audit, my client missed submitting a 1099-K. Okay, those 1099-Ks are generally for freelance workers. If it be Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, they usually receive 1099-Ks if you received over a certain amount in that tax year. Okay, so the client missed a 1099-K. So we got the 1099-K from Uber, which is the one that they were missing, and added that to the return. But they also had deductions with Uber as well. So remember too, if you are a rideshare driver and you're watching this video, that even though you're receiving income, there are also deductions that you can take to reduce the income that you're making. For example, Uber has a lot of fees that they charge. You can deduct those fees. Also, your mileage, also any meals while you're driving. So there are deductions that reduce that income that you have. So for the recap, number one, stay calm. Number two, thoroughly read the letter to see what the IRS is saying, what kind of information that they are giving to you, okay? And that they want you to review, all right? The next thing, number three, contact your tax preparer. Your tax preparer should be well-versed, hopefully, if in audits, they should be well-versed in correspondence with the IRS. So they should be able to review the letter after you have and tell you what the next steps should be and how they can help you. Which is generally, hey, let me help you gather these documents. Let me help you understand this letter. Let me help you understand what the next steps are. Let me even help you stay calm. Okay, that's why you want to contact your tax preparer. And additionally, because your tax preparer should have been the one that prepared the return for you that you are having the audit for, they can give you a little bit more insight on that return as well. Okay. So just be mindful to, after you've stayed calm, after you have also reviewed the letter for yourself, contact your tax preparer and send that letter to them as well. Okay. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to gather the documents that the IRS has requested of you, okay? If there's a document that you do not have, you need to reach out to anyone that you may have received income from based on what the IRS is saying that you're missing. So again, we reached out to Uber because the client did not have that 1099-K that they needed from Uber. So they made sure to, again, contact them. So then they had record of that income that the IRS also had. So sometimes you don't have everything that you need, and sometimes you're unaware of that. You don't always know, okay? So you just want to be mindful of that. Secondly, if they're asking for, again, as I mentioned, for that initial client that I had with the first audit, if they're asking for receipts, you're going to make sure you want to go through your prior receipts for that return. Remember too that the IRS can look at returns up to 7 years old. So you want to make sure that you are keeping good receipts just in case you're ever audited. Like again, I said, an audit does not mean that you did something wrong. Sometimes they just want to review the income and expenses that you had. So in that initial audit that I went through, we collected all of their receipts. Some of the receipts the client did not have because the return was a little bit older. So what we can do and what you can do, if you have the same bank account, you can always go through those bank statements and those count as receipts and records of your income and your expenses. Your bank statements always count. They're always a cheat code, okay? So if you don't have that paper receipt from name the store, you can always go back through your bank statements and get a record of where you spent that money. Okay. So again, let's go back because I want to make sure you got it. I want to make sure you're staying on track with this. One, we're staying calm. Two, we're thoroughly reviewing the letter. Three, we're contacting our tax preparer. Four, we are gathering the documents that the IRS has requested. Okay. And that leads me into the last one, number 5. We're going to do one of two things. We are going to either amend our return. So if there was something wrong, if there was something that we missed, we're going to complete an amended tax return for that year. Okay. Also, with your tax preparer, they should have, depending on how long they've been in business, they should have prior year tax return software so they can complete an amended tax return for you for that year that the IRS is requesting documents for. Okay, so you may have to amend the return. Second, if it is receipts that the IRS is requesting, then you're going to want to make copies of those receipts and then mail those to the IRS. So even though this is a two-pronged approach, depending on what your audit is for, if it's either amending that tax return or sending documents to them, your final step is corresponding with the IRS. Please, please, please do not hide from them. Do not put your head in the sand. Talk to them. Okay. Do not just try to forget about it. Like I said, don't have any fear about communicating with them, especially if you know that you did something right. And especially when talking with your tax preparer, this is something that can be fixed and corrected. Okay. Do not be afraid to talk to them because the last thing you want to do is ignore the letter because of fear, and then they're collecting your, future refund checks, or they're garnishing your wages, or they're taking steps to take legal action against you. That's the last thing you want. So make sure that after you do all of the steps, that you are truly going back to correspond with the IRS to either say, hey, yes, I'm sending an amendment. Hey, yes, I'm sending these documents. Hey, I even have I need to call or follow up with more information. I have more questions. I have more concerns, but do make sure that you are corresponding with the IRS. Okay. Again, do not be afraid. Don't be concerned. Don't be too concerned where health issues are now coming into play because of that concern. Just go ahead, call them, and make sure that your tax preparer is abreast as well to help you get through this journey. Okay. And the audit journey can be a couple months, depending on what the issues are. It can be a little longer, depending on what the issues are. But remember, keep those documents. Um, don't be afraid, and make sure that you're corresponding well with them and staying in communication with them. And I'll go a little further with communication with the IRS. Keep good records of your communication with them. You're going to want to know every time someone does answer the phone, they're going to give you their IRS ID. You're going to want to write their ID down and their name down every single time you talk to them. Okay. So then you have record of who you spoke with, what day you spoke with them, and the name of the person that you spoke with. Okay. Just in case you need to reach back out and they, send you to another department or send you to another person or even escalate you to management. Hey, this is the person I talked to. This was their IRS ID number. Okay. So that's another good tip of when communicating with the IRS, making sure that you're keeping good record even of the communications. Okay. So recap, last recap. Okay. So when going through an audit, the best way to handle an audit, first thing, stay calm. Second thing, review the letter that they sent thoroughly. The IRS also, real quick, only communicates through letters. They will not generally send you an email, okay? So they're corresponding with you through a paper letter. Number 3, contact your tax preparer. Make sure you send them the letter so they can fully support you during this audit process. Number 4, gather all of the documents requested, make copies, because you always want to have one for yourself, even when sending other documents to the IRS. Don't send them original copies. Send them copies of the originals so you always have something for yourself to go back to. And lastly, correspond with the IRS about what they've requested. Okay, so you all feel free to let me know in the comments if you went through an audit, if you're currently going through an audit, and what that experience is like or was like for you. Help to encourage someone else. Make sure that you guys are keeping your tax preparers abreast of what's going on with you so they can best support you. If you ever need any tax assistance, you know that you can reach out to us here at LOC Financial and Business Solutions to greatly help support you during just the tax filing process or even the tax auditing process. Okay, but you all have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and know that we are here for you. All right, have a great day or a great night, and we'll see you soon on the next edition of the Savvy Steward.